Hi there. I'm going to be talking today about Christianity, or I should say creation, versus evolution. So I am a follower of Jesus Christ, and I will be talking about him on my platform. From here on in. I probably will be doing it once or twice a month, but he is near and dear to my heart, and it is my pleasure to talk about him and try to educate as many people as I can about him. So I'm going to start off with something, like I said, creation versus evolution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read here. Actually, I got the meanings of both from the Columbia Christian University website online. So start off with evolution. So evolution is a scientific theory that explains how species change and develop over time. It proposes that all living organisms on Earth share a common ancestry and have gradually evolved from simple single-celled organisms to the diverse array of plants, animals, and humans we see today. The process of evolution driven by natural selection, genetic mutation, and other mechanisms. Now for Christianity, or I should say creation. In general terms, creation is a belief system based on religious narratives that assert a divine or supernatural entity, God, created the universe and all life within it. It holds that the complex and diverse forms of life were created by God more or less in their present state and have not changed significantly since their inception. So that's basically the difference between the two. So evolution is basically something that has evolved, something that once wasn't, and then it just evolved over time. Creation is actually saying that the deity, the divine, the creator, God, actually laid hands to what we have here on earth, in the universe, and all of heaven, and he himself created it. That one supernatural person did this. And so what we have a lot of people believing in evolution, and of course we then have a lot of people who do believe in Christianity. And so basically what I'm going to bring to the table is why evolution is it's just nonsense. It's complete nonsense. And so let's talk about evolution for a while. So we have what we call evolution as how human beings have evolved from monkeys, from apes. And it's interesting because the apes and the monkeys they haven't continued to evolve. They've stopped evolving. And it's just, so how did they evolve, have the potential or the ability to evolve themselves into human beings? And then once human beings populated the world, the evolution that they had stopped. It doesn't even, they don't evolve anymore. And why don't we human beings evolve or mutate into something else? Because if evolution is real, then we should keep evolving as human beings. I'm not talking about evolving as in our thinking or evolving as, like how we look at things. I'm talking about physically evolving. Why has this become extinct if in the beginning, that's what we came from? So, I mean, like, if you come from something, that's where it continues on that way, and this has stopped. So, right there, I mean, like, the apes aren't evolving. We aren't even evolving. Like, we're not mutating into something else. Everything is static. I mean, the only thing that I can think of evolution is that throughout the course of years is that human beings have become taller. I think that's probably one of the the things where I see most where humans have evolved. And but aside from changing physically, no, that hasn't happened. Also, another one, and the Big Bang Theory, and that one I actually find. Actually, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to read off to you exactly what the Big Bang Theory is first before we go into that. So, the Big Bang Theory, which happened 13.8 billion years ago, tells us that it's a physical theory that explains how the universe began as an extremely dense and hot state and expanded over time. According to the theory, all the universe energy was once contained in a point much smaller than an atom or grain of sand. This point then exploded with great force, creating matter and propelling it outward to form the galaxies, stars, planets, and other structures in the universe. Okay, and this was proposed, this theory was proposed first in 1931 by George Latimer. This is considered a theory only. And so that's another thing that we have to remember. Like evolution, these are theories. So with a theory, and I'll just explain what a theory, I'll just give you the definition that I found by the Britannica Dictionary in its simplistic form. So a theory is an idea or set of ideas that is intended to explain facts or events. So I could have a theory on how a cookie is made. I could have a theory on how a car is made. It doesn't mean that it's fact. It's just a theory. So evolution is a theory. It's not a law. The Big Bang theory, a Big Bang is also a theory. It's not a scientific law. Neither one of them are scientific laws, because with a scientific law, it would be something like gravity. So in the case of gravity, which is a scientific law, the law of gravity, well, it describes, and this is here what a law is. It describes the force. So the law of gravity, okay, because it describes the force, but not attempt to explain how the force works. So it actually gives you the action to why it is gravity. Like it actually gives you step by step as to why gravity is gravity, why it works. Like they give you the facts. Whereas the Big Bang Theory, evolution, it gives you a theory. I could have a theory on the Big Bang Theory or on Big Bang, and I can have a theory on evolution, but it doesn't make it right. But there's no facts to back it, neither of them. And so it is just a theory. Whereas with gravity, on the other hand, is the law, or is a law. So it's a scientific law. And so that's just to give that kind of clarity. And that's the difference between, like, a theory is an idea that we all have, but that doesn't mean that what we believe is necessarily true. So with the Big Bang Theory, to me, there's just a lot of holes in it. Like to think that for that minute second that you had, and it's saying here, the energy, you had all of this coming together, converging together, and it just so happened by luck, by chance. Because if all of these things didn't come together within that one split millimeter of a second, we wouldn't have this world. So it was just by chance, it just so happened that all of these things connected together within that milliliter of time, which then created the universe. And if not for that, then the universe wouldn't be here. And that's the theory of the Big Bang theory. And to me, really and truly, like this, I mean, and it says, like because of it, it formed the galaxy and the stars and the universe and the sun and, all of the planets and, including Earth and then everything that's all of the, life that's on each of these planets. So all of that from a bang, like just from something imploding, it created life. And it knew where to fling the stars, it knew where to fling the moon, it knew how to put the sun in the center of the universe and have all the other planets go around it. Like this bang was so organized in its bang. And then it created Earth with all of the, like with the life, with all of the life that is in the world. So it created humans, it created plants and animals and mammals and fish and everything, all from one bang. And this is supposed to be believable. I mean, to me, honestly, this is like playground talk in a scientific arena. It's just, it's complete nonsense how anyone could even believe something like this. And many people prefer to believe that human beings just evolved from animals. Like they find it easier to believe that, and they find it easier to believe that we just exploded into this world and that everything is so organized in this world. Like a bang gave us spring, summer, fall, and winter, night and day, man, woman, 9 months pregnant, gives birth, live, die, plants, grow, die, like all of this life, everything positioned so perfectly from a bang, like an atom in a second. And people, and many of these same people who believe this type of thinking are the same people who believe in psychics. They believe in witchcraft. They believe in reincarnation. They believe in speaking to the dead. So this is another thing. A bang can now produce this type of supernatural ability from a bang, from just combustion. People are able to have these supernatural powers that many people believe in, who believe in these theories. But where is that power coming from? Because so many people cannot believe in the fact that they question, where did God come from? God always was. And they say, okay, well, yeah, but who made him? So it's easier to question God's existence than to question the Big Bang Theory and how the Big Bang Theory threw stars into the galaxy and planets all over the place and positioned them perfectly. And like I said, the sun in the middle, and life on Earth as well as on so many other planets, and a big galaxy and a universe. A bomb, an explosion is easier to believe than to believe that someone created it. A creator who made people like you and me, who also create, a person who made people in his image, and we create just like him. But many people find that to grasp because they say, who created him? So it's easier to believe that an explosion created human beings and created them so organized and, created the world so organized for it to rotate so organized and for all of the galaxies to just align so perfectly. And for human creation, and like I said, birth, life, death, everything to flow so consistently. Spring for it to come in its place, summer to come in its place, fall and winter. Plants blossom in May and they die in November. And it's it's unbelievable. That and this is what I said. And like many people, like I said, who believe in this theory, then they believe in the supernatural for everything that is evil. Everything, like witches and psychics and, reincarnation and speaking to the dead. So that part is real because that's supernatural, just like God is supernatural. And so if the Big Bang Theory can create supernatural, and how did that happen? Like, is it believable really that an explosion would do something like this? Isn't it easier to believe that a creator created? Because when we create, we're organized in our creation. When we create things for work, when we create meals at home, when we do art, when we create anything, when we write, we're organized like the creator in heaven. Only a creator could create the universe in such a uniform way, in a systematic way, where everything flows like a clock. It ticks, it goes 12, 1, everything just, and at different times you have different times of the day, then you have a different lighting. Early in the morning, it's a little more kind of pinky. A little in the evening, it's more golden at the times. And so just wanted to, so that, because I know there is a God. For sure, there is a God. And he's an invisible God to us. When we leave this world, he will no longer be invisible, but he's an invisible God to us because he is holy and he is not of this world. He created this world, but he is not of this world. And I'm just going to read some scripture here. We're going to go back to Genesis, where it all began. And just give me a second here. Okay, so we have here, I'm not going to read this whole thing off because it's for 6. It's like for 6 days. So, but we have, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, let there be a vault between the waters and separate water from water. So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above. And it was so. God called the vault sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, and the second day. And so it goes on, of course, right up to the sixth day. And of course, the seventh day is Sabbath, and that's the day that he rested. And it's interesting that God created so many things, including the Sabbath day. And you have people, even today, discovering that it is important to have one day's rest, not realizing that that concept came from God. God was the one who said man should have a day of rest. And you have people who are not of God now, quoting this, saying that, oh, we've discovered that, we should have one day of rest. Really? This is something that God has ordained for mankind to do. So when you look at things like evolution, because there can only be one, it can't be two, it can't be both, it has to be evolution or creation, it has to be a creator. And there is a creator, and his name is God. And his son is Jesus, who laid out the foundations of all of the earth. So it was Jesus who laid out all the foundations of the earth. He's the one who did it, as quoted in John 1, verse 3. And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Wait, in the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning, and through him all things were made, and without him nothing that was made was made. So Jesus actually is the one who laid all the foundations out in the beginning of time. But Jesus and God lived before the beginning of time. They always lived. And for me, it is easier to believe, and not only believe, to know that there is a God, than to believe in some combustion, some explosion that by chance just happened and created all of us and all of the living things that just happened to flow so organized, or evolution, and then somehow evolution just stopped. And there's no proof of any of these things. There's no proof of Big Bang. There's no proof of evolution. There's no proof of all of these. These are all theories. They're all theories. None of them are scientific laws. They are scientific theories. And, a theory is just an idea, an opinion, something that we all have. And even with evolution, it's it's standing on very weak legs, even in the arena of the scientific community. It's not as strong. They support it, but it's not strongly supported because there really isn't a lot of strong facts to support it. So this is something that I want to share. I think it's important, and like I said, I am a Christian, and I am going to throughout, once, no, not once, maybe 2-3 times a week, or maybe 4 times. No. So 2-3 times a month, or maybe 4 times once a week, I will be sharing something about Christianity and about Jesus Christ and about his existence and why he loves you so much and why he wants you to have a relationship with him, or why he wants to have a relationship with you, and all the benefits of having him in your life and the things that he can do for you. And so that is it for me for today on evolution and creation.